We are live. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition is on the air. Last few seconds are ticking down for the check-in for today's Warsaken Blitz tournament. So let's find out who I'm going to face. We have the bracket. We're going to look there at the red qualifier. Here's the blue qualifier. That's where I am. I have a first round bye. So I'll be taking on Maker Z in the second round. Both Z and I got a first round bye. We'll face the winner of Vagamundo and Sparky until we get to the semifinal round. These are 2 out of 3 matches, best 2 out of 3 here in Warsaken Blitz. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. So that's the bottom half of the bracket, and we'll scroll back up and take a look at the top half. Many thanks to Warsaken and Supra Oracles for sponsoring this event tonight. So there are some first round matchups that will happen, but a number of them will be second rounders, just like what I have. So you see what we're looking at there as far as the bottom half of the tournament tree. So now I'm going to check in over on the BluMint Discord page. BluMint, BLUMINT.com. BluMint.com will have coverage of tonight's tournament. It's their tournament being hosted here, and so there'll be people with live video. I know I've got my broadcast up here right now. I'll give you a bit of a preview. We get ready to go here. So hello to everybody over at BluMint watching there, everybody watching here on Twitch around the world as we get excited for this tournament tonight. Warsaken Blitz. I was lucky enough to win yesterday's BluMint tournament for blockchain brawlers. I tell you, even with the extra hour I needed to go through and check all my electronics after the power outage, that was another thing. In the middle of a tournament, getting a power outage from a thunderstorm. But that's life sometimes. Luckily, battery backups for me held up and made it through unscathed and actually won. So I really enjoy these tournaments. They're fun to stream. They're fun to play. And so now I'm going to find out here in just a moment where I'm going to be needing to go here in the BluMint Discord channel. It's really helpful the way they set it up here. They create rooms for the different matchups and make sure the two players are able to communicate and get things going. Like once a tournament starts, there's a lot to handle at once, and they've done a good job with it in my experience with them thus far. Had those tournaments or even 2 weeks ago, and then last week, of course, with the Atomic Hub Game Fest. That was a lot of fun to be part of. So still 2 minutes out from top of the hour, so there's that 5-minute window. I really like it. It's great because I can come on a few minutes early here with NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I got the reveal just like you did there with the information for this tournament. But I was still really keyed up from that Brawlers tournament when I had my broadcast yesterday afternoon with Warsaken Blitz. That's where I have my queue set up, and a lot of great people wait in line, wait in that queue one at a time to play me for a chance to win a prize on the wheel. Today different, this being tournament coverage. So it's not quite yet to the top of the hour. Unlike that Brawlers broadcast yesterday, this is without any sort of a delay. With Brawlers, you really have to have a 90-second delay, in my opinion. With Blitz, it's different. And obviously somebody could be looking at my stream, and if they have the right intel cards at the right time, it could work out. But this is a different kind of game as far as it's much more conversational. That's what took me as long as anything to come down from like being in broadcaster mode, like I'm calling a men's lacrosse NCAA game, as opposed to calling golf or baseball that sort of thing. Different kind of pacing. But it takes me a while after broadcast to come down from that, just that intensity when it's a high intensity sport. So I'll go ahead and scroll up and give another look at that top half. There's the red qualifier and the blue qualifier. These are random draw. So some people did get stuck with these first round matchups. Moonbaz Marty, hey, how you doing? With my tournament tree pop out where I can interact with it as a browser source. Unfortunately, I have to move it to the side to not obstruct the view over the stream chat. Okay, so I'll go through from the top as far as the matchups. We'll start. Well, I think before I may have run out of time on that, actually. Let's see. Got a matchup about to start. You can see on screen who's facing off there in that first round. Like Sean IOP there from the top is what I jumped out at me. And there's some names here I know and some that I don't, which makes it interesting. So Sean IOP against War Never, I think it's changes, it cuts off. Voldemort against Devlin V. Zeal against Good Trouble. Archie against Tissues. The Cheetah Man against Alucard. Bob. Orange. Both of them with a first round bye. The same for Tetsaken. Rexy's onto the second round with a bye. Likewise with a bye, Hun Alex 76. Z Blackle against Moonbaz Marty. There you are, Marty. Okay, I was going through there trying to see who everybody was. A lot of names to go through. And then there's DeJohn J against Force Slayer. Finally, Relay Logics against... I don't know how to say that one. Against a really long name that begins with an E. So we'll look now at the bottom half, this blue qualifier. My match will probably starting here in a moment. I'm not sure with these second round matches how quickly they're going to get to those, but well, it looks like I've got a mention here, so either I leveled up again, but nope, here we go, the blue heat as it's called. But say hello. All right, so I'm here. So it's 2 out of 3 matches. McCour Z, my opponent here. It's a second round matchup. We both had first round buys. But yes, I'm ready. Hey, if you have a code. I can provide a code as well, but it's easier with that copy paste, I think, for people to play against to provide that. Well, thank you. So, Borzy saying leaving the stream so as to not cheat, which I appreciate. I'm aware people could look in. That's part of it. A little bit of an honor system with that. And it's like with blockchain brawlers, 90 seconds is for sure good enough. With Blitz, it's a different type of pacing, so that wouldn't be sufficient at all. You would need such a long delay that you'd be better off doing it a different way. All right, got the code. Thank you. I'll type thank you. Helps if I hit the enter key correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and let me make sure I've got the proper... I'll go ahead and bring this up. There's the slate again. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'll go ahead and type in this code. Although to do that, I have to pull up another screen. I'll bring down the slate. I'll put thank you on that. And we'll get started.
Warsaken
Again, a reminder, Warsaken Blitz is a simplified version of Warsaken. You start with 1 leader, 4 territories, and a deck of 60 that's called an arsenal. From that arsenal of 60, you randomly draw 8 cards. You can choose to keep them or take a mulligan. I'm going to keep these, probably. I don't have any building cards in the way. Only 2 of a kind. I really don't want to make a 2 of a kind out there early with. So actually, I'm going to change course, and I will take a mulligan. So, bit of a downgrade there. Nothing matches here, and 2 building cards in the way. So I'm going to take a second mulligan. This gives my opponent an extra card. Didn't want to start this way, but that's what I've got. And my opponent goes first. So it turned out okay as far as the here of control the message cards there. So I've got at least something to start with. 2 of a kind force for my opponent. This is a second round matchup in today's BluMint Warsaken Blitz tournament. Rolled a 5. Nothing to make 3 of a kind, but plenty of room there in my war zone. We'll play 2 of a kind Jacks Nash. 3 actions to go for the turn. A bit dangerous, I think, to have 2 sets of intel out there. This card will get people's attention, the targeted sabotage. A very bright card. But it's an intel card. It looks like it might be perhaps a force, but it's not. And the way you can tell them, that's the insignia on the card, that little logo. 1 action to go for the turn. You know, actually, I will go ahead and play that, control the message. We'll throw another intel out there. We'll see what happens. So this is a single elimination tournament. Each round is 2 out of 3 matches until you reach the semifinal round, at which point it becomes best 3 out of 5. Interesting move there with my intel out, a pullback there with the cards in the war zone for my opponent. 3. Well, I can play that second, control the message. There's that. 2 actions to go. Nothing to make 3 of a kind. Nothing to make 2 of a kind that I can put out there. You can't play building cards until you have at least something in your discard pile. So I'm going to leave those last 2 actions unused and end my turn. My opponent rolled a 1. The winner of our match faces the winner of Vagamundo and Sparky. Be a 3rd round match. 3 of a kind force. That's going to take out one of my territories. And that's it for my opponent's turn. My turn. 5. All right, so we'll get some force going on this side. We'll make 3 of a kind, a 3rd Jacks Nash to pair with what I had out there already. The objective in Warsaken Blitz is to get your opponent's leader compromised and then eliminate your opponent's leader. You can compromise your opponent's leader by eliminating all of your opponent's territories. It's one of 3 ways you can do it. You can also get an opponent's morale down to 0, or you can mill their arsenal. If their arsenal hits 0 cards, any of those 3 cases, they've got a compromised leader. At that point, you just need 3 of a kind force to take out that leader and get the win. 1 more action to take for this turn. Different colors, but these actually are the matching cards there with a hammerhead. And that's going to end my turn. So roll a 5 for my opponent. So 3 of a kind force there. A cool looking card there, the G1 Foxbuster. Especially that one, that trio that was played there. Not so cool for my territories. I'm down to 2 territories. 2 actions to go for this turn for my opponent. Two of a kind force, and that ends my opponent's turn. My turn. 3. Slow roll to give me the cards there, as it turned out. Okay, well, nothing to make 3 of a kind, unfortunately for me, so I'll play a hammerhead. Like I said, the green and the blue, they really do match up. And while I have 2 actions remaining for this turn, I'm going to preserve that 4th spot in my war zone. You can always pull back cards if you need to, but this is normally the strategy I prefer to go with here. So, 2 actions unused, and that's going to end my turn. This is match number 1 of a 2 out of 3 match, second round battle here in today's BluMint Warsaken Blitz tournament. So 2 sets of 2 with the force cards, and then a pullback of one of those force cards. Interesting. My turn. 1. Well, same situation as before. Nothing to make 3 of a kind. I'm going to keep that 4th spot in my war zone open, so I'm going to forego that lone turn, or that lone action, and end my turn. So it's a roll of 5 for my opponent. In Warsaken Blitz, roll a die, and you get that many actions and that many cards from your arsenal. 3 of a kind force. Down to 1 territory remaining. 2 of a kind force. 1 more of those, and I'd be down to 0 territories and have a compromised leader. There's a weather card. 2 of a kind weather. 3 of a kind. That's an extra turn for my opponent. Roll a 5. So that means 5 cards and 5 actions here. So another force card. Already got 2 of a kind force out there. That's 2, that's 3, so I'm going to have a compromised leader.
Compromised.
As I was saying, compromised leader. So 2 actions to go for my opponent, a pair of weather cards. Back to me. 6. All right, I'm going to win the match right here. I got very lucky rolling that 6 when I did. I'm going to play a WMD, 3 of a kind captured leader. WMD takes out 2 of your opponent's territories. Hey, you're ribbing me now, come on. Where's the 3rd one?
Select target.
I'll take out both territories.
Compromised.
My opponent with a compromised leader. I've got 3 actions to go for this turn. 3 of a kind with the Cheetah series for the win.
Select target. Leader eliminated. Victory.
All right, good game. So I lead 1-0 in the best of 3. Bring the slate up for just a moment. So I'm waiting on another code here. Oh, it said, yeah, yeah, we're fine. We don't have to take a screenshot. I've got a live feed that people are watching over on BluMint, BLUMINT.com. All right, next code coming right now. Thank you. Here's the code. There's nothing to update as far as the tournament since we just got underway. So I've got the code. I'll go ahead and type that in now. All right, so I lead 1-0.
Warsaken.
This is best 2 out of 3, second round matchup in this BluMint Warsaken Blitz tournament. Well, a lot better options than I had last time through. We'll end up with that second mulligan. Just the one building car, I'm going to keep it. Didn't I already keep it? Are you sure you want to keep these? Although I would rather them ask twice than not ask at all. Roll a 6. So a strong start there for my opponent. Pair of weather cards. Oh my, that's interesting. Very interesting. Just the pair of 2 there. So I rolled a 4. Wide open war zone since we just started the match. Play a pair of weather cards, tsunamis. And remember, Warsaken Blitz, the simplified version, it's the category that matters. So it's 3 of a kind for a weather card, does the same no matter which 3, as long as they match. That's the caveat to that. Same with force cards. Doesn't matter if it's an engineer or a tank. In this case, the Z-27 Tiger. I'll play a pair. And that will end my turn. This is match 2 of a best of 3 second round matchup. Lead 1-0. My opponent rolled a 2, but I was very fortunate to win that first match. Taking on McCurzy. Winner of our match faces the winner of Vagamundo and Sparky in the third round. All 4 of us fortunate enough to have first round buys. Some luck of the draw with that. Roll a 2. Two of a kind force cards. If you see that G show up, that's a force. It's a specific type of force, but it functions the same in Blitz. I rolled a 2. All right, well, lucky me with the 2 tanks out there. This makes 3 of a kind. I'll take out one of my opponent's territories.
Select target.
Horde of Carmersani. Normally it takes it out right away, but there's a little bit of system slowdown, it feels like. There are a lot of people playing right now. This is the tournament and all, so. I mean, normally you just wait here for a moment, so hopefully it'll click through. I don't know. When I faced the John Jay in the last Warsaken tournament here on BluMint, there was a point in that third match. We went to a best of 3. It went to 3. I was lucky to win that one. John Jay's a good player, and the system started getting a little bit squirrely. That I've only seen it do this when there's been a bit of a strain. So Moonbaz Marty says, my game froze too. Well, I'm going to sit here for a moment. Hopefully it'll just take a second to get it processed. Uh-oh. That's not good. But hopefully, just a minute or two of patience, it'll go through. I don't know. This is... So I sent a note in the BluMint Discord chat. Now BluMint hosts the tournament, but this game is within Warsaken, so I remember hearing the last time that there was this sort of an issue, that there was a problem with some sort of AWS that I thought was unrelated, but I don't know. But I simply don't have the answer here on why it's on slowdown. So maybe if I refresh it, maybe that's it. It's as simple as me refreshing it, that works. Okay, well, try it again. We've really scouted the port out. Had to find just the right spot. There we go. Still have one more action for the turn. But nothing to make 3 of a kind, or even 2 of a kind, so 3 of a kind. Either way, nothing to pair up. I'll end the turn. Okay, so I was passing on the information about how refreshing the app got it to work. So a roll of 1 there for my opponent. I lead 1-0 in this best of 3 second round matchup. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. So my opponent rolled a 1, but as noted, there's been a little bit of slowdown. So hopefully, whatever the issue is can get settled here relatively soon, and we can get things going. So again, for people that are unfamiliar with Warsaken Blitz, Blitz is a simplified version of Warsaken. You start with 1 leader, 4 territories, and then a deck of 60. That deck is called an arsenal in Warsaken. Your arsenal will be where you draw 8 cards to begin the game, and it goes from there. There are 3 ways that you can end up with a compromised leader. You don't want to have a compromised leader. You're trying to compromise your opponent's leader, but there are 3 ways you can get there. Take out all of your opponent's territories, which is the usual way. Get your opponent's morale down to 0. I've done that with morale decks, but it's difficult if your opponent has a bunch of low morale penalty. Like if this gets taken out, it's -3 morale. If somebody's strolling here with like a -6 or -7, then you can have some fun with it with a morale deck. But otherwise, especially for tournaments, right now it's not practical. It's fun to try sometimes, but and the third way is having your arsenal hit 0 or your opponent's. Sometimes you'll see intel-based decks that go after their opponent's arsenal, where you can mill 6 cards from their arsenal into their discard pile. Lost a match yesterday live on stream where I didn't lose a single territory. Didn't have any of them taken out. It was just super intel heavy. I think it was against Tech. It was a valid victory, but it's frustrating when you're running into that and it's just and turns into a slog of a match. This is different right here. This is just the system being slow. I'm going to refresh to make sure it's not on my end. I don't think it is, but I'm still going to do that. Yeah, they changed the die when you refresh it. Like, I'm not a big fan of that one because it's kind of hard to read, that dark on dark background. I'll just refresh it again while I'm at it, and we'll get a better die. There we go, see? Much more legible. But you get the point here, so I'm waiting for my opponent's action. I know Moonbaz Marty on the other side of the bracket, and the other bracket altogether, is taking on Z Blackle. I know they were having some system lockup issues. Like Relay Logics beat that really long name that began with an E that I couldn't pronounce. But as far as this bracket, well, I do have one final. Zeldrazar beat Blackbird. I'm here looking for people that are regulars in my live stream and people that I know from the Warsaken Blitz community. I could potentially face Tech in the 4th round. Could face Tarsa. There's some names on here I know. And there are some people like, I say Thomas. Well, I don't know who Thomas is. Thomas could be a lot of people. So I lead 1-0 in this best of 3 second round matchup. So we'll just have some patience with this here, and eventually should get things straightened out. I know Soul the Cat had a long stream, a pretty long stream last night after I was finished. I streamed into hers. They were talking about the full Warsaken game. And there's a lot more to the game, a lot more, it's very in-depth. And part of what makes Blitz great is that so you can play and enjoy and collect Warsaken cards and just play Blitz and have fun with it. It's very conversational for a live stream, especially. Keep peeking into Discord to make sure I'm not missing anything. And I had my microphone muted on top of that. Just that's one thing after another with this. Three of a kind force, but we're getting there. Speaking of getting there, my first territory gotten to by my opponent, taken out with three of a kind force. So 3 territories for my opponent, 3 for me. 2 actions to go still for this turn. Again, this is a second round matchup. This BluMint tournament. My turn. One. Try again. 4. So it showed up as a 1. I clicked it again because it was stuck there in the middle. And now it's supposed to give me 4 cards and 4 actions. And I've received 0 cards. Okay. Well, I'm going to hit F5 and see if this... Let's see what happens. So it didn't... there's no way to like, take advantage there as far as that roll of 4. Although I didn't get any cards, did I? Oh, come on. Brutal draw. Okay, this is not good. Well, maybe my opponent's got similar problems, but maybe that's why I got that... Or, that is my turn, but I can't even... Like, I couldn't even play it if I wanted to. This is so weird. This is so weird. I'm going to F5 it again. Okay, what do I do here? There we go. The card showed up. Better late than never. Man. We like hot off the presses? Okay, I've got... Let's reset it here. I lead 1-0 at a best of 3. My opponent and I each have 3 territories. I rolled a 4. I've got 4 actions to take here. I've got 3 spots open in my war zone. 2 sets of 2 would be nice to play. We'll go with a pair of amplified uplink facilities, building cards. And then a pair of stolen blueprints. Ahem, ahem. As I said, a pair of stolen blueprints. Maybe if I go one at a time. That's the move. Try again. All right, so that's it for my turn. My opponent's turn now. So roll a 4. Yeah, there has been system sluggishness. So he'll go from sluggishness to roll 2, okay. You have to wait for these 2 cards to show up. It's like I'm back in the 1980s at Service Merchandise down on Nolansville Road in South Nashville. Pick out what you want to buy, go pay for it at the register, then you walk over to the conveyor belt, and somebody in the back gets what you want and puts it on the conveyor belt and they send it to you. And here it is. What's old is new again. Service Merchandise. Haven't thought about that place in a minute. Tsunami. 3 of a kind. I'll take the extra turn. 1 action to go still for this turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. But nothing to make 3 of a kind. So I'm going to leave it open for now. I'm going to forego that last action for this turn. And now I'll get the extra turn. And hopefully this will... 5. Well, I can at least play 2 of a kind out there. Nothing to make 3 of a kind, unfortunately for me. Actually, I'm going to put out a pair of Agent Zeras. We'll do that. Or should I do these one at a time? So this will leave me with only 1 spot open in my war zone, with what I believe will be 3 actions to go still for this turn. I'm going to have to just forego those remaining actions. Guess I have to try again with Zera. Alright. And that's going to end my turn with those last 3 actions going unused. That's going to be working now for Moonbaz Marty. Hope that it's working for any people that had some slowdown. Hopefully, I'm able to get through it. Roll 3 here for my opponent. This is a second round matchup. The BluMint $50 on the move tournament. The Warsaken Blitz. That's a WMD. What is that one? That's a mean looking one there. Stolen super weapon. Oh my. Uh-oh. That's 2. If that's 3, that'll take out 2 of my territories. That's what it is. In that one at a kind pace. 1 at a time pace. So it seems like similar issues for my opponent as far as trying to play multiples. Thus the 1 at a time roll, the slow roll, but understandable in this case. So I'm down to 1 territory here. I lead 1-0 in this best of 3, but I don't know what to do with this. Ask again. Do I need to bribe somebody? I was kidding on the bribe. Roll to 4. Okay, it's the service merchandise thing again. We gotta wait for him to get it from out back. Send it on that conveyor belt. This was, I'm talking like circa like 1984, 85. And service merchandise has been gone from that building for a long time. I wonder if there's like an international food market there. If you don't know Nashville, this means nothing to you. But if you know South Nashville, I'm sure you know the area. So let's see, maybe refresh. Well, no, I waited before, and then the card showed up, right? Well, I'll refresh it anyway and see if that'll help expedite the process. So I know roll the 4. I'm waiting for the cards to show up. It's extra heavy. They had to load 4 of them this time. So if I can get 3 of a kind with a WMD, that would take out 2 of my opponent's territories, and they'd be down to 1. It'd be great to find something to match with Agent Zera. Intel. When I put those intels out there in that first match, my opponent took notice. So right now I'm waiting for the 4 cards to show up for my roll of 4. With this tournament going on, the system is under a lot of stress right now. A lot of people playing all at the same time, so hopefully this will pick up here and we can get things going. It'd be a shame for somebody over in Europe to have to tap out on the tournament due to sleepiness. But hopefully that won't be a problem here. Still waiting on those 4 cards to show up. And you can tell because the end indication hasn't shown up. That doesn't show up until you get your cards. All right, so Moonbaz Marty won 2 of 2. Congratulations, Marty. Glad to hear that. I'm up 1-0. I'm going to try refreshing again. So I rolled a 4. Oh, now the cards come. Okay, well. So we have that. A lot of intel, and that's why I think my opponent's been pulling back quite a bit there. Now, once you've been hit with a WMD, kind of a weird spot. Because if there's like the other WMD in my opponent's hand, no sweat on having to discard that. But I do want to open up another space there in my war zone. So I'll bounce 2. So I'm not getting full value, but
Select target.
I'm going to do nonetheless. 3 actions to go for this turn. I'm going to play a pair of XTTs. I'll go 1 at a time to be on the safe side. Okay, and I'll end my turn. My opponent rolls a 4. Three of a kind weather. That means an extra turn for my opponent. 1 action to go for this turn. Rats there in chat to Moonbaz Marty. My opponent rolls a 2. The force card out there. That's 2, that's 3. I'm going to have a compromised leader. My turn.
Compromised.
3. XTT.
Select target.
2 actions to go for this turn. Amplified uplink facility. Go back for the Tigers. 1 action to go. I don't want to put that out there, make it an easy target potentially. At the same time, I've got a compromised leader, so I don't know how much that actually would play into it. Actually, I will play instead. No, I'll bring my hand down. I'll think about it. Yeah, I've got space. Okay. I'll play the ideal conditions. I might not get another roll here. My opponent rolls a 3 or higher, sitting on 3 of a kind force. That's it. I've got a compromised leader. I'll lead 1-0. There's a 3. If that's 3 of a kind force, we're going to have a deciding game 3 coming up here in just a moment. There it is. All right. So we're tied up at 1. So we're going to a deciding 3rd game here in the 2nd round matchup. The Warsaken Blitz tournament being held by BluMint. So tied up at 1. We'll get a 3rd code here and get going in just a moment. And it decides to scroll down right as I pull it up, of course. So I'm peeking on what they've got pulled up there. Give a quick look over. You see some names on that right side filled in, but only just the 1 there. This is the top half, but the red qualifier up there, but I'm worried more about the blue qualifier, and even more than that, worried about this 3rd deciding matchup coming up here. I got the code, thank you. So now I'll go ahead and I'll move the tournament tree out of the, so I'm not obstructing the view in chat. Type in that connect code. Here we go, taking on McCurzy. Winner of our matchup gets the winner of Vagamundo and Sparky. Well, I do have two of a kind with the intel, but I will keep it. I get to go first. 1. Time detonation. That's it for my turn. So this is match 3 of 3. The loser's out, the winner advances. My opponent rolls a 4. 3 of a kind with that force. Gonna take out one of my territories. 1 action to go for my opponent. Ultimate Troll Scam Baits, thank you for the raid. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well, Cookie. Cookie is hilarious. Scam baiting is, I'm in the middle of a tournament match right now, so I'm going to have to concentrate on this, but give Ultimate Troll Scam Baits a follow. All right, 8 cards for my opponent. If you're going to force your opponent to discard 3, the earlier the better in a match in Warsaken Blitz. So I'm in the second round of a tournament here in Warsaken Blitz. Winner of this match will advance to round 3. I'm going to force my opponent to discard 3, but that won't happen until my turn is over. 3 actions to go, 4 spots open in my war zone. We'll go 2 of a kind with a soldier barracks. 1 action to go for this turn. And I'll play Control the Message, another intel card, and that will end my turn. Now my opponent has to discard 3 from those 8. So it's a different circumstance than in that second matchup there where I was hesitant to use that intel. Your opponent has 16, 17, 18 cards. It's a lot easier to make those cuts. Plus, you can also peek in and see what has to get the heave-ho. The Foxbusters were played before, so the Blizzard was the first one cut. Like, I don't know what else my opponent has up there in those 7 cards, but I get to find out what gets voted out. It's like Big Brother. Play a building card to bring him back into the house. But many thanks for the raid. My goal this weekend is to finally really legitimately get my act together with my live streaming interface with whatever bots I need. Okay, so there's a couple of force cards for my opponent, who now gets to roll. There's a roll of 2. In Warsaken Blitz, when you roll a die for your turn, you get that many cards from your deck, which is called an arsenal, and that many actions. So that there's a lot of RNG that can come into play, but that also makes for some exciting wild swings. My turn, 3. All right, so I can play 3 of a kind intel and wipe out my opponent's war zone. Sensitivity Savage, thank you for the follow. And I'm sure there are others in there that I might have overlooked. I'll get to y'all in just a moment. I'm going to bounce 3.
Select target.
But thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it.
Select target.
But give Ultimate Troll Scam Baits a follow.
Select target.
Like, it's a different kind of skill level that I mean, you could give me 50 years and I can never do it the way he does. But the puppy scammer stuff and the pet scammer, I mean, it's just like rolling laughing. One of those, like, if I worked in a traditional office, I would have a tough time listening while I'm working on like paperwork and stuff. Okay, 1 more action to use, but nothing to make 2 of a kind. That's not a WMD, and I don't want to put that out there in harm's way. So I'm going to end the turn. A roll of 1 for my opponent. Still no winner yet between Vagamundo and Sparky. My turn. That's who faces the winner of this matchup right here in the third round. All right. So I rolled a 1, but I can go back for, well, your choice of intel. And I'm going to do that right here. So you need to make 3 of a kind in your war zone to activate the cards in Warsaken Blitz. If your arsenal's under attack, that's a good way to counter an intel milling attack. In this case, I'll take my TV set back. Thank you very much. Roll 5. My opponent still has all 4 territories intact. I'm down to 3. But I was using some defensive tactics there with the intel, going after my opponent's deck, so it's not necessarily the most exciting form of gameplay, but that's just the way the cards fell with the distribution. Got that arsenal, that deck of 60 that you start with. You can have at most 4 of a kind of 1 card. Almost everything I have is 4 of a kind in that deck. 2 of a kind force, and that's it for the turn. My turn. 6. Well, here we go again. Play 3. Clear my opponents. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Could force a discard, but
Select target.
this has the added value of my opponent having used actions to already put these in place.
Select target.
We'll bounce the ZS Wolves
Select target.
and the Lasting Blizzard Weather card. So 3 actions to go here. Very unusual the way this one's been playing out. You never know for sure with Warsaken Blitz what to expect in a given match. Play a pair of G6s. I'll play a Tsunami, a weather card, and that'll end my turn. And you're trying to make 3 of a kind to activate the cards. Roll a 6. Two of a kind force. 4 actions to go here for my opponent. Standalone force, and that's it. My turn. 1. Okay, I'll play that second Tsunami card, and that's going to end my turn. Roll of 2 for my opponent. Show a note in chat. Thank you to the raid for the raid there to Cookie. Ultimate Troll Scam Baits. Dude's hilarious. Roll a 5. Alright, we'll play the trio of John Riders. Force cards.
Select target.
Take out an opponent's territory. So 2 actions to go for this turn. I have 2 spots open in my war zone. I'll play a pair of Romans prototypes. Or play a pair of guard towers. Think about this. Okay, I'll play the guard towers. That's it for my turn. So this is match 3 of 3 in the second round here. And this Warsaken Blitz BluMint on the move tournament. Roll a 6 for my opponent. 3 of a kind weather, so that means an extra turn on top of this. I could be in serious trouble here. 5 actions to go for this turn for my opponent. That's a WMD. That's 3 of a kind. That's going to take out 2 of my territories. Uh-oh. So I'm down to 1 territory, 2 actions still to go for my opponent, plus the extra turn. It's possible I could lose it right here without getting another roll to die. Two-of-a-kind weather, extra turn. 3. A pair of force cards, 3-of-a-kind force cards. I'm gonna have a compromised leader. My opponent has a 3rd tank. No, that's time's up for the turn. Or
Compromised.
compromise. Time's almost up for me. My turn. I have to win this match or I'm out of the tournament. 1. Uh-oh. Well, if it can only be 1, let it be the tsunami that gives me an extra turn. Extra turn. Let's see. 2. Play a pair of violent tornadoes, but this might be the end for me here in the tournament. All my opponent needs is 3-of-a-kind force to beat me. And it's a roll of 5. There it is, 3-of-a-kind force. All right, congratulations. So I'm out there in round 2. Congratulations, McCurzy victorious. Let me find the right. Yes. All right, wishing McCurzy good luck in the next round. Congratulations. I won that first round, the first matchup of our best of 3 there, but I needed that roll of a 6 when I got it. But decisive wins there. Matches 2 and 3, McCurzy advances. So this will not end up being the longest stream in the world for me, but I'll likely do a raid into Soul the Cat here in just a couple of moments. But first, I want to give another look over the tournament tree as it stands now. Then we'll go over and join Soul the Cat. I want to make sure that she is, in fact, streaming at the moment before I start making final plans to do that, only to have not verified them. So let's we'll go ahead and bring that up. And speaking of bringing it up, let's so it's not there yet, but soon it'll be reflecting that I lost there in round 2 and I'm out of the tournament. I'm going to refresh it. And we'll bring this up. Right as this music gets very quiet, of course. So one last look here at the tournament trees that stands here as I get the heave-ho. Oh, Soul the Cat lost. Okay. Or no, it's not right. No, Soul the Cat's still in. Okay, Delve is advanced. I was looking. Of course, it's something you can't see on that part of it. So Soul the Cat's still going. Okay. Hey, Rexy, hello. I'm going to do a raid here in just a moment. I've got to verify something first. Yeah, good luck, Moonbaz Marty. Good luck to you. Think Soul is out? Okay. Well, it showed. Yeah, okay, there is the update. That just came through. Gabix. Tough draw there for Soul the Cat. Gabix is a good player. Okay, well, Soul's live, so I don't know how long she's going to go with that, but I'm going to go ahead and do a raid over there in just a moment. I'm going to do a SIG out so I can have this for YouTube later and the VOD even sooner here on Twitch. All right, well, good luck to everybody still in. Moonbaz Marty, good luck. Great if Moonbaz Marty could win 2 in a row. Wouldn't that be something? But there are a lot of quality players in this tournament. So I'm going to go from participant and broadcaster to viewer. That's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.